are the Raider Nation. We rock the back to chill. We make the trees chill. We make the Raiders chill. And we still deliver it. So if you want a piece of this, you can come and get it. Vegas Raiders. Vegas Raiders. Just Raiders.
Oh, hey everybody. I was watching the Raider Nation thing. That was like my cheerleading Raider Nation version. This lighting is terrible in here, isn't it? Oh well. I look like crap right now. But anyways, I'll get into that. But I really think this lighting is not good when I'm looking at the screen. But anyways, that was fun doing that. That was back in like 2019. So our shoes, yeah, can you fix this lighting? It's like, I feel like I look like hollowed out or something. But it might just be how I look right now.
There you go.
Is that better? I don't know. Is that better? I don't think that's better. Okay, whatever. Anyways, I guess it's not going to help right now. So anyways, this is day 2 of no alcohol after drinking for like 2 weeks solid. I must say I feel like crap. But I feel better today than I did yesterday. Oh, yesterday was not fun. But I'm doing it. I'm committed now. Like it's not a thing where I'm craving the alcohol. I actually am kind of over it because I kind of feel like I got my fill in New York City, and it was making me feel really crappy, even when I was drinking. But so I just decided like 2 days. So I got home on Monday, and I knew I was gonna drink for about a day or two because I was like, just kind of like it's hard to just go from like I was drinking a lot in New York. These stupid cider things that I drank. Ridiculous. But anyways, it's a lot of sugar too. So I knew it was going to take me, I had to wean off a little bit. So I got home late Monday night, and then Tuesday, I asked Richard if he could get me some ciders. So him and Annette got into the store. And then Wednesday, I said, just give me one cider, but then that was not enough. So then I said, can I have Gloria's wine? And so then I drank the rest of her wine. She's so mad at me now about that. But anyways, but now I'm like, please don't have any alcohol in the house for a second. But then that was Wednesday, and then Thursday I'm like, I'm just not gonna drink anymore, and I didn't, and it was like, it wasn't hard resisting the alcohol because I once I make a decision, it was more just like I felt sick, so I could barely get out of bed. I mean, I did all my chores, but like when I was done with my chores, I was like back in bed, and I didn't even shower yesterday. This was yesterday, yeah, because today's Friday. I didn't even shower. I was like, and I shower all the time because now I didn't work or anything either. Something. I didn't work. I didn't do anything but just kind of like clean up the house. And Casper's been really mad at me because when I drink, I take care of his little chores of cleaning up, but I just don't give him very much attention because I'm just like, drunk. And so he's been mad at me, and so today he's much happier. But and yesterday he was mad at me even though I wasn't drinking. I was just sleeping all day. So today I finally got up because I wasn't even getting out of bed. Even when the first 2 days when I was drinking, I didn't get out of bed till like 10, which is insane for me, you guys know. I'm usually up at like 3, 4, 5 a.m. But today I finally got up at like 5, I think it was. Rich is like, I have a live for 5. I'm like, what are you thinking? It's not gonna happen. But he kept setting up for all these times, and I'm like, you're very ambitious. I don't know what you're thinking. And this is not there yet. And I looked terrible. Not that I'm looking much better yet. I'm just like work in progress here. But like my face was getting so bloated because I was drinking all these cider drinks, which they have like 2 apples per bottle or something, they're saying for some of them. I stopped drinking those Angry Orchard ones because those ones that have that. Tried to get ones with less sugar, but still apple. But I'm obsessed with drinking that if I ever drink, like nothing else, because I actually don't like the taste of alcohol. Even those, I'm like, barely stomach them at times. But I don't know. When I drink, when I'm in New York, it's hard not to drink for me because I am lonely there. And I'm not a very social person. I'm very antisocial. I don't know if you guys know this about me. So in order for me to kind of like feel like going out even when I'm in New York, like I'll just sit in my hotel room and just like twiddle my thumbs. So like when I drink, then I go out and about and I'm like friendly to everybody and I'm like giving away alcohol to anybody that's like asking. Because if you walk around with like a 6-pack or something, people will say, "Can I have one?" And I'm like, "Oh sure." By the time I get back, I have like 1 or 2 left. I'm like, "Oh well." But it's good for me because I don't need that much. But I would do that where there's hair on me. Sorry, you know when it's on you in Jersey nuts. Anyways, I'm trying to get it off, but I can't find it. So, oh my gosh, I know I'm jumping around. I've been trying to slow down the way I talk, but you guys don't understand. I was born in California, which most people in California don't talk that fast, but we talk fast enough. But I was raised by a New Yorker who was basically like on speed her whole life without realizing, because she's taking those antihistamines that used to have that like Fedra or whatever it was, which is basically speed. They had to take it out because all these ladies are all whacked out on their antihistamines. And so my mom like just really, went 100 miles an hour, and that's just what I was used to. So I was not on drugs as a child, but you just think that's how people act, you run around. And she'd be like, and that's why I do chores like crazy. My mom never sat down to watch a movie. That we'd be like, and I'm so that way too, which I get so annoyed. It's just like, to sit down and watch a movie or like seems like such a waste of time when you have so many other things to do. Like, I gotta do this. But in New York, I have nothing to do. So that's why it's hard for me, because I'm used to like here when I get home, it's like nonstop. Like when I first got home, the first night I did like 4 loads of laundry, and I got home at like 9 p.m. But the laundry was so stacked up, and I immediately when I got in, I was like panicking. I have like insane OCD. People don't realize this because I kind of deal with it pretty well, and weed helps me. But I hadn't had weed in a long time because I was in New York, and I don't get weed when I'm in New York because I don't know why, which is such a bad idea for me. I should just go. The problem is I like to smoke out of a bong, and I'm not going to bring a bong to New York. I mean, we did do that before when we lived there, but I'm in hotels, and we did do that in hotels. But COVID was different. They were a lot more lenient. Now they're very strict. I would never try to smoke weed in a hotel room. Like ever now. I mean, they just really have no tolerance, and they'll charge like $250. Like, no, thank you. So, if they don't kick you out, they just charge you a fee. I'm not interested in that. So I just don't really bother with weed in New York, and unless like I've found a pre-rolls before or something, but I don't go buy it. And one time I did buy, they had these little pills you took, but they were like $50, and there was like 4 of them, and I didn't find those to work that well. But that's what they don't do, like the syringes like we like in New York. But anyway, so when I get home, I already haven't had weed, and then I don't want weed. So also, like, if I've been drinking, I don't want weed. Even this morning when I woke up, we're just like, "Want some weed?" I'm like, "No, I hate weed." Because, like, when I want something else, like, if I'm craving something, weed's, like, not what I want. Because weed actually helps me feel better, where the other things just get me, like, basically, they're just addictions. That's why they say it's hard for people to understand, but weed is not addictive. It's like you get used to doing weed, but it really is not truly addictive. Where like alcohol is truly addictive, sugar is truly addictive. So when I'm drinking that much alcohol, since I'm choosing the ciders, I'm also getting so much sugar, which I'm not used to that, because you guys know we do no sugar. You normally do the carnivore diet. And so when I quit the alcohol, I'm not just quitting the alcohol, I'm also quitting like all the sugar. And so it was like cold turkey. Like I weaned myself off a smidge from what I was drinking in New York for like 2 days as I was here. But still, after Wednesday, Thursday was like, no, I'm done with this. Primarily because I was looking terrible and feeling terrible. I mean, bottom line, as much as like alcohol, when I looked in the mirror and the times I wasn't, wasted, I'm like, man, this is bad. And my skin was getting bad. And so I told Richard, all right, Thursday, I'm going to do it. And we didn't even barely leave the house that day. I forget if we even left the house because we didn't go shopping that day or anything. We had enough food. This was yesterday. And then the only thing that we did bad at the end of the night was, I was like, all of a sudden was like, I really crave a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And then Richard's like, oh, don't do that. And then we're sitting there for like a couple hours, and he's like, now you got me wanting a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I was like, So we had peanut butter jelly sandwiches, which we were trying to do the carnivore diet yesterday, and so we failed at that with our peanut butter jelly sandwiches, but it was better than alcohol, is what I thought. But now today, we've been all carnivores, so I'm feeling much better, because I didn't feel good after the peanut butter jelly sandwiches. I don't really like sugar and carbs. Like, for one thing, they don't digest well after all the damage I've done to my digestive system over the years and my eating disorders. So I do better with the carnivore diet because it's actually the easiest thing to digest in a weird way. You wouldn't think that meat would be the easiest thing, but it's actually all the carbs and the sugars and the gluten-y things that are harder to digest, and your body's not used to them. Whereas we actually have always had animals in the world that we were supposed to eat. I know it sucks. I used to be a vegan for 11 years, a vegetarian 12, so total 12 years vegan, vegetarian. And I love animals, but I did realize that it's necessary for your best health to consume animals and not the artificial ones, not the fake meat. Oh my gosh, I was in New York and I was so desperate because remember I left my grill that I went to Whole Foods and I was like, what can I get that can be microwaved? Someone said I could microwave the beef, but I was like, I'm not gonna have that explode in my microwave in New York. So I thought, let me find something that is like a frozen thing that says it's microwavable, so I'm looking and I'm like looking for like meat and it's like fake meat. And I'm like, is it only fake meat? Like, I was like, really? So I'm like looking all around the store and I'm like, everything is fake meat. And then I finally find the section that's real meat. And of course, it's not anything that could be microwavable. And I'm like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. But all of the stuff that could be microwavable was like fake meat. I'd be all excited, like, oh, no, Beyond Beef. Oh, no, darn it. Beefless. No, there's no, shoot. There was nothing in the frozen section that was actually like microwavable that was any sort of beef thing. Unless it was like slathered with like stuff, beef stroganoff or something like that. Not what I'm going for, but so I ended up opting for, oh God, it was the worst idea ever too. It was some frozen chicken thing that could be microwavable. And it said it had a sauce that you could add and not add. So I get to my, back to my hotel, and then I realize, oh, this container it's in is not the one you're supposed to microwave it in. Why would you do it to me that way? Like I needed this, I don't have anything to microwave this in. Like, it says this is not a microwavable safe container. Why would you do that to somebody? Why would you, I assume the container it's in. So I get there and I'm like, oh great, I don't know, can you just put it on a napkin? Can you microwave a napkin? Well, I did, but I got nervous and I thought something was going to happen to it. So did we just lose it, or was? No, you're gone. Okay. And then I didn't want to microwave it too long because I got nervous that it was going to explode in the microwave again. So, and then I didn't want to put the sauce because it was some teriyaki thing. Oh, the worst thing I could have ever chose. And it was like $12. So then I'm like sitting there in my hotel room eating the grossest, half frozen chicken thing, but it's already cooked, so it wasn't because you get sick if it's not cooked chicken. But really, of all the things at Whole Foods, this is what I settled on. And it's a long, long walk from the one at the second hotel I was at. My other hotel was close to Whole Foods. The second hotel was so far. It was probably the furthest place you could be in New York from a Whole Foods, because there's a ton of Whole Foods. This one was, I think it was a mile and a half. And so I would go up there, and then I'd be looking there forever, and I'm like, there's nothing for microwavable of beef. And so I settled on that terrible chicken, all excited, you think it was really nice. Worst option ever. And I ate it, because whatever, I'm not going to spend $12 and not eat it. And also, I didn't know what to get after that. Literally by my hotel, it was only halal, which gets tiring. And because it's not enough meat. They sell rice and salad. You put a little bit of meat on top. And then I like when they have the kebabs, but they don't always sell those early in some areas. And then pizza at a corner, and another corner pizza, but nothing of substantial meat. Always meat on top of pizza slice, or meat on top of tons of rice and salad that you're paying for all that rice and salad, and you give me this chintzy amount of meat. Or one time I bought a burger there. What was it, $15 or something? like that thin. I think I did a video and gave the bread to the birds. What a waste. Maybe it was only 10. Probably was 10. I can't remember. I said in the video it was probably 10. But yeah, it was 10 for that and 10 for the kebab. The kebab was good, but it was lamb kebab, never beef. Never beef. It's lamb and chicken. Cannot get beef. So annoying. But I did have a good time cooking with my little George Foreman. I had a 2-1, but then I left it at the one hotel on accident because that morning was a rough morning for me. I was not that sober this trip. I was not, let me just say. Because I would rarely sober up because I would drink and, then go to sleep or work and then, within some time the next day start drinking again. So it's very little moments of sobriety on that trip. I did one day not drink there, like after I'd been drinking, because I was like, I'm going to stop drinking. And I went one day, and then the next day I was like, this is New York, not going to happen. But here in Vegas, it's much easier for me to not drink. And right now, I'm just like, I'm feeling so good to be off of the alcohol, because it really does not make me feel good. Because I have a very sensitive stomach, and just that amount of like liquid and sugary stuff in my stomach, just that alone like makes me ill. And so then I just keep drinking to like make it better. Like, oh, my stomach hurts. Okay, let's drown it out. But yeah, now I'm just kind of feeling all the aches and pains. And poor Richard, his back's been hurting too. So we're just like a sight for sore eyes. So like yesterday, we did go. That's right, we had to go get weed yesterday. We did go sober. And it was like, both of us were sober, but both of us are so achy and tired that he had to drive there and I had to drive back, because he drove there and he was like, man, my back's hurting, because I was like, I don't feel like driving, I don't feel good, and then I'm like, all right, I'll drive back. But I was like, I hadn't driven the car yet, and I have like major, I don't know if you guys know this, I have major car anxiety, because my dad scared us when we were kids, so like, well, if I haven't driven a car in a while, it's like a little bit, and so in New York, I just mainly take the subway. And so even when I first got home, like when Richard drove me home from the airport, I was like, oh gosh, like freaking out in the car. I was like, can I sit in the back seat? Because I get like, it freaks me out. And especially the speeds in Vegas, it's so much faster. So even if you're in a car in New York, you're moving like 5 to 20 miles an hour in the city. Here you're going like 80 miles an hour. Most of these people go like 120, and you're like, and so I don't do well with that. But and it didn't help that when I drink, I get even more anxious. And so now that I have my weed, I'm starting to like calm down again. I realize I need weed for my anxiety really bad. I was even like asking Rich, I'm like, should I get on some sort of medication for my anxiety? But I'm like, I think if I have weed, that's all I need. But when I don't have my weed for like 2 weeks, then I'm a mess when I come back. And that's why I drink more. So I'm feeling really good now about like we're doing all. I really feel like we're gonna just stick with it now. It's weird. Most people don't understand that, because you're like, how can you have just struggled so much? And then it's like, it's hard to describe, but when you've been in and out of it so many times, you kind of just know, all right, I'm good for now. Because for one thing, at this point, I can't really never say never, because I'm going back to New York. So I don't know what's going to happen when I go to New York. So it's like, I'm good for now. I'll, deal with that then. But I'm good on the drinking. Like, I really want my health back. And I did some push-ups yesterday. Oh, gosh. I thought I was going to die, but I forced myself to do 20 push-ups. I don't even remember the last time I did that. And I was like, gosh, I got to get back in shape, because I like being fit. If you guys haven't noticed, I was a cheerleader and in track, and I played flag football in 8th grade. I wanted to play football in high school, but my mom wouldn't let me. She said I would get hurt. But I was like, some of these boys are smaller than me. She's like, yeah, but they're boys. And so they wouldn't let me play flag football either. It was only boys. But then the team was so bad that they knew I was good, so they pulled me in my cheerleading outfit one time, and then they let me start playing. But anyways, track, I was really good until I did track, and then I didn't want to compete. Like, I didn't like competing. I just liked running for fun, and I guess that's not good when they want you to compete. And so I would just like be like, I'd be always like kind of led the race, because I'm a really good like keeping a pace. But then at the end, I'm always like, seems like these people want it more than I do. Like, I don't know. I never just had that drive to just be like, I have to be number one. I'm not a very competitive person. People think I'm a competitive person because I like to be good at things. but I don't have to be number one. I just like to be good at things just because I just like I don't like to like do things like crappily, you know, I like to do a good job. But people misinterpret that I'm competitive. So I always have these people competing with me, even my sister and my dad. You know, I had to like hide that I'd be good at like a video game from my dad because he'd be like, oh, you can do better than me. And I have to get all competitive. So I'd be like, I'll just not let anyone know. And it's just my OCD makes me like to be perfect, but it's not a competitive thing. It's just a like need for, I like things to be just so. But then mine isn't too bad because there's certain things that drive me nuts, but other things, as you guys can see, I can handle. Like it's like whatever. If you guys, I don't know if you can see my new collection of New York nonsense. Oh, it's taking over. It just makes me happy because then it's just New York everywhere. Because I like New York and Vegas are home to me. And it makes me laugh. But have you guys seen the Mets there? Oh yeah, just kicking ass. Oh yeah, yesterday, total shutout of the Braves. Like I said, that hasn't happened in like forever. And I'm getting so many Mets followers on Twitter because I was blowing it up when I was in New York. But now I've been too busy to like, you know, do play-by-play. I've been watching it, but when I was in New York, I was just sitting there, so I was like tweeting like crazy. But I watched 2 games. I just didn't feel good, so I could barely tweet. But I kept thinking, oh, I want to tweet about this because there were some good games. Oh my gosh, some amazing things happened. Oh, the pitchers, it's so good. Yesterday, it was sad because Griffin Canning, the main pitcher, he's one of my favorites. He got injured, and they think it's his Achilles, which, that's horrible. I was going to put him out for a long time. So unfortunately, he's such a young guy, and he was doing so well. And now I feel really bad for him. But all the other pitchers did phenomenal, and the game was a total shutout. I think it was 4-0, if I remember. My brain's a little foggy right now. It's hard coming off alcohol. You're in like a brain fog. And I was a little bit even shaky day one. Today I'm doing much better. I'm probably still a little bit shaky where not like shaky, but just like you feel like a little bit of a tremble because I'm a very balanced, like stable person. Like I don't drop things and like I can hold a lot of things and trust myself. But after I'm coming off alcohol, I'm like, no, I'm not going to be carrying the eggs with the waters and everything. And then I'm like, no, come get the eggs later. Like normally I'll be like trying to balance and be like, oh, I ain't going to drop these eggs. Now I'm like, no, I'll leave the eggs. Otherwise I'm going to be like, gosh darn it. Why'd I bring the eggs? And I normally like get off on doing things like that, like trying to balance everything. It's a weird thing I do, and I never drop anything, but when I am first coming off alcohol, I'm like, I don't trust myself. And what was hard, oh gosh. So the day I had to go to the airport was bad. I don't know what I was thinking, like I drank like that morning and I got so tired, so I could barely, like, I went for a walk to keep myself awake because I needed to like keep myself awake to leave my airport, to leave my hotel to get to the airport. And I was getting so, because what happens when I drink is I pass out. And I was like, I could barely stay awake, and I'm walking around the city, and I'm like, I need to stay awake or I'm not going to make it to my flight. I'm like, I can't drink anymore today. And I get back to my hotel, and I'm like trying to keep myself awake. I'm like packing and stuff. And then I have to leave my hotel too because I decided to leave early because I'm like, I can't stay in my hotel. I'm going to fall asleep. So I left early, which meant I was going to be at the airport even longer, but I'm like, I got to get myself to the airport. And I was like about to fall asleep, and because I was just so tired from the whole trip and from drinking, which I pass out when I drink. And so then I'm like, get on the subway, and I keep falling asleep on the subway, and I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna miss my stops because I had to take like 3 different. I had to transfer 3 times, and I was like, oh dear. And I kept like waking myself up, and I was like, this is bad. This is really bad. So. I did get to the airport, and then I had to wait at the airport for like 6 hours, but I just slept. So it worked out all right. And then when I got on the plane, I slept. But it was actually really hard to sleep on the plane for some reason. Like I kept waking up. But what was cool is I got a seat like, okay, we pay for basic economy, which is the crappiest seat you can get. So they put me right after comfort, which we had first class and then you have comfort. And they might have business class. I think they just go first class comfort. I don't remember. But I was in the row right behind me. It was like 18 something. And I thought at first I was at comfort because it had a pocket that said comfort. I was like, ooh, am I in? Like, how did the business economy put me in comfort? You know, I was like, ooh, and then I realized no, the seat in front of me. But anyways, it gave me a little extra pocket for my cell phone. I was like, ooh, that's cool. But anywho, I was in the middle, of course, and I was like, oh, this is going to be great. When I'm so tired, I'm going to like drool on the person next to me. I've done that before. So I'm sitting there, and I literally, we get delayed to take off, and I couldn't even stay awake. So I fall asleep, and of course, like on there's this big guy next to me. And so then I wake up, and we still haven't taken off, and the seat next to me is like empty. And he's like, oh yeah, she got upgraded. You can sit over there. And I was like, oh wow, when did that happen? Like, I was so out of it. So then I sat in the aisle, and then we had a seat in between us, which was really nice because I was like, oops, jeez. I kept like laying over, and I would have totally just like drooled on the guy the whole time. I know I was out of it, so it was bad. So I knew when I got home that I needed to stop pretty soon. But luckily, like, no incident happened this time at home because Richard was very understanding that I was going to need like a couple days, you know. And so I took Tuesday and Wednesday of just very light drinking. Like I didn't get it myself. They went and got me a little bit of cider in the morning, and then, like I said, some Gloria's wine. But then now there's no alcohol left in the house, and I don't go to the store or anything, so it's good. And I don't feel tempted, honestly. Like, I felt like that was enough, done, let's move on, you know. And I was glad. I think last time why we got in a fight, I think Richard wanted me to like be able to stop like day one when I got home, and that wasn't really feasible. It doesn't take me long, but it might take, because I had to, like, I kind of lowered the amount the next 2 days, and that helped. And then actually by Thursday, though, I just went cold turkey, and that was hard. I mean, I got like cold sweats and stuff. I don't know if you guys know what that is. That's partially from the sugar and the alcohol, but when your body's like withdrawing, that night you'll sweat, but then you're freezing, and you keep having to change your clothes because your clothes are soaked, but then you put on new clothes and they get soaked again. And like, that was happening to me a little bit in New York, even while I was still drinking. I get those sometimes, which is weird. And then it's bad there because I can't necessarily wash my clothes. So then I'm like trying to hang out all my clothes out, and clothes don't dry in New York because it's too wet. So even if you like hang them all day, to come back, they're still kind of damp. You're like, ugh. But it's not good. Like, I have I don't know, maybe a major allergy to alcohol. I don't know if other people have it that bad, but for me, it's not good. But people go, oh my God, how bad is it then that you go to New York? And it's like, I don't know. It's not the end of the world. I have a good time in New York. But yeah, I can't stay on alcohol. But I don't know. And I'm hoping this next trip maybe I don't drink. But even if I do, I'm learning to deal with it and work through it and then get back on track. But I also have a great time when I'm in New York. But it's also very stressful and very lonely. And you're inundated with all this temptation. And it's, I don't know, like, sometimes I feel that while I'm there, the alcohol helps me be able to deal with the amount of anxiety I have while I'm there. Because, like I say, I have very high anxiety. And if I don't have able to smoke my weed in a bong like I like, because I'm not good at smoking a joint. It's like, I don't get it, and I'm not good with the pipe. I don't know. I'm like not very smart with smoking things, and I really am bad at it. So with the bong, I'm not even good. If you guys know, like, cough, but like I like blast myself, and I'm like, oh, okay, good, I got it. But if I try to like smoke a joint, I'm like literally like smoke the whole joint, like I suck it too hard, and there's like, there's that thing, and I'm like, Richard, I just waste these things. Don't give that to me. I really do. I don't even know how to do it right. And because I never smoked a cigarette in my life, so I don't really get the concept of smoking. I don't understand how people do it, really. Anyways, so I don't really get my proper weed unless I have my bong. And it's just like the whole experience. I don't know. Something about, like, usually when like me and Rich do it together, it's kind of a little fun. Like, he always kind of sets it up for me and stuff. I don't know. I'm not good at, like, I don't like doing weed by myself. I don't know. It's weird. It's hard to describe. But anyways, but alcohol, I've always had no problem doing by myself. So it's weird. But I'm already looking forward to my next New York trip. I don't know when it's going to be. I hope a little bit longer, but who knows? Could be in a couple months. But when I was in New York at first, I was like, I don't want to come back here. And then as soon as I got home, I'm like, I want to go back. I was already like setting up my bag to like be ready for my next trip. Although I might have to get a new suitcase, so I can't decide. He's getting pretty messed up. Oh, he's my little buddy. All my little things are my little buddies. So, ooh, and I am liking all my new little New York things. It looks ridiculous, but I love it. My room is like a little kid room, and I don't care. I'm a big kid. Princess shirt on, yeah, I don't care. But yeah, the Mets have been killing it, and I've become obsessed with watching the Mets. Like, I get so into it. I don't care if not whether I'm betting or not. I don't even like betting really anymore. I just love watching because I know all the players now. But it was fun to bet to kind of learn some of the stats and things. But now I'm like, I don't care. We rarely ever bet. I didn't bet any time we were in New York, and I think we bet once since I've been back, but $5, that was it. And I lost, and I'm like, yeah, that's fun. Okay, I don't want to do that again. I just like watching the games. But anyways, let me think. Richard and Annette have been doing all the shopping, and Annette really enjoys that. Oh, wow. That's a story. So Annette the other day wanted to pick a drink, since I guess this was when they were getting me, sorry, I have the hiccups. I forgot my water. I need water. And they were picking out my cider. This was on, I think it was on Tuesday. Yeah, it was on Tuesday. When they got cider for me, Richard asked Annette if she would like to pick out any sort of drink that she would like. Not like alcohol, but just like any sort of drink in the store. And so Annette picked out a Red Bull. And he's like, "Is you sure that's what you want? Because, like Annette was caffeine." She's like, "Yeah." So she picked out a Red Bull. She had one can of Red Bull. And Annette was zinging for 2 days. She didn't sleep for 2 days. And she was like happy, like, woo! But like off the rails, like happy, like and like walking a million miles and just like zinging on one Red Bull. And Richard at first was like, "Oh, this is great to see her so happy." I'm like, "Yeah, but she's going to crash." And so she's crashed. But so I guess today Richard said, "Annette, would you like another Red Bull?" And she's like, "No." So like she even doesn't really like being that way. And I think she can really clearly see the difference of her on caffeine and her not. And so when some people think I'm like cruel that I took away the caffeine, it's like, no, Annette feels better without it, even though it's like kind of fun and she feels euphoric, but then she crashes, and then it doesn't feel so good, because it's a manic thing, she's going through, as high as you go up, you gotta equally go down. And so that's what I experienced too, with the alcohol, and so, oh my gosh, yesterday I felt terrible. Oh, terrible. So terrible. Like I did a lot around the house, but when I wasn't doing anything else, I was like in bed. And then my back started to hurt from laying in bed too long, because I normally don't sleep that much. And it was like, oh. And then Richard's back was hurting, and we were both just like, oh, we were like a sight for sore eyes. This is ridiculous. Now we're both feeling a lot better today. So when I first woke up, I didn't feel good. And Richard's like, "You want some weed?" I was like, "I hate weed. I don't want weed." And I was like, and then about 30 seconds later, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have some weed." But Richard's like, weed isn't isn't addictive and isn't as strong of a drug, like they call it, because if you want anything else, like, you don't want weed. Weed's like the last thing you want. Like, if there's like any other option, like if you're addicted to anything else, like, you don't want weed. Weed is almost something you have to like kind of force upon yourself, and then you gotta get used to it, and then you might kind of crave it, but if anything, you're kind of like, "Oh, I have to do this," because it's like, at first, literally, when I do my first bong hit, like for about the first 2 minutes, I feel like I'm going to die. I'm like, oh, and then after that, I'm like, okay, because I'm like coughing, and I'm like, and then after that, I'm like, oh, I feel much better. So it's more like, it's not necessarily the most fun thing, but like, you know that it's healing, because it is medicinal. It's medicine. So when people are like, "Oh, yeah, I'm having so much fun with weed," it's more like, I'm kind of trying to heal myself with this weed. It's helping me, and especially like with my throat, when I'm sick, like it does help me, even though I'm coughing. Oh, are you laying down? I was gonna pass off to you soon. Are you going to sleep?
I was gonna pass off to you.
Oh no. I was like, I'm gonna.
We'll come back later.
Huh?
We'll come back later. I need another pound.
Oh yeah. Okay. How about I do that then? Let's go. I was thinking the same thing. I was hungry too. Okay. So how about I turn it to a cooking blog?
Yeah, or you can just end it.
No, we can turn to a cooking blog.
Okay.
Let's do that. Because we're both getting hungry again. Because we are.
I can use some hot dogs and eggs.
Oh, I'll make that. We can make that. Okay. I'll say that.
I got the Nathan's dogs because those are better than
Yes, you got Nathan's hot dogs. He likes doing Nathan's hot dogs and eggs now, so we could show that if you want. You want to do that? Or do you want to end it? What do you want to do? It's up to you. I could go either way.
we can come back later.
Okay, we'll come back later.
Come back.
Alright, guys, we're going to come back later. You guys all tangled in my cord. Gotta get out of here. Oh, yeah, I zoomed in. Turn me up a little
This one, sun shining. Yo,
I don't hate players, I don't love the game. I'm a shot clock, way above the game.
be point blank with you, the game.
I got all this work on me, I ain't come for play.
You can show the little shorties how you pump and think.
The dog,
Not to death, I'm not impressed. I'm not amused, I'm not confused, I'm not to do. I'm a grown man business, I'm not in school. Put your hand down.